What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about 3 stocks that you need to add to your watch list for this upcoming week that have a very strong likelihood of a squeeze. So I'm going to go over all of that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And let's get right to it. So when it comes down to it for this upcoming week, there is several things that you need to know. One of which is for economic data. The only big one to really watch is GDP. And of course, if that is very positive, anticipate the broader market to kind of rally, because still a lot of people are watching the economic data for signs of cracking potentially. So if this is very positive, then the market should rally. But I think first and foremost, a lot of people are just going to be looking at earnings. And this week is like basically the Super Bowl of earnings. This is when a lot of big tech starts to announce their earnings and so forth. And if they are positive, for instance, on their earnings and even give good guidance for 2023 or the remaining part of 2023, this is where a lot of the economy is just going to rally severely. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Like I said in the past, this isn't in any particular order, the 3 I'm going to be talking on, but the first one is, ticker is VUZI, Vuzi Corporation. To be honest, I never heard of this company whatsoever, but over 1 year, down 26%. Year to date, it looks like it is plus 6% or 7%, and based on Friday, down 1.53%. But clearly this isn't on here because of technically any of the operational needs. It's just more so because of the fundamentals when it comes down to short. So short score is currently 89, utilization is 100%. On a side note, if you want to ask any questions or want to know exactly what this stuff does truly mean, let me know in the comments. But there was, from Friday, 28,000 shares being increased, and that works out to be about 14.56 million shares. And that is about 25% in the free float, which is all fine and dandy. But if you go back over here, the percentage free float on loan is 24, but yet the estimated short interest is almost 25%. So that does show that this stock does have visible naked shorting, and that probably means that there's a hell of a lot more behind the scenes that we don't know about. But as you can see, cost to borrow average is around 11%. So I've definitely been targeting a lot of companies that have a lot of visible naked shorting in the past, and because like I said, with these data points coming out, this could very much run. But when it comes down to it, let's take a look to see exactly how high this could go based on the technicals, of course. So when it comes down to it, it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, below a lot of the pivotal moving averages. But in reality, if it does squeeze, so on a daily volume, this is around, it looks like, give or take, I don't know, 500, 300,000, so relatively low. And there's currently 14.56 million shares being shorted, like I mentioned. So in reality, if a squeeze was to occur, this is one of those stocks that could have a very, very fast escalation up. But keep in mind, there's a different types of squeezes, because there's a squeeze associated to a third party. So for instance, if these companies have good earnings, then yeah, some shorts will close at the positions, but not a mother of all short squeezes, as what a lot of people like to just quickly throw around. So if positive data was to come out for this week and just some shorts close out the positions, I can realistically see no higher than around $5, $5.40-ish. But like I said, that's not really factoring in any operational updates. And for those of you that watch this specific, because I do this video once a week, if you guys watch this every single week, you'll notice that at least over, I think, the time ever since I made it, there's been always 1 or 2 of the 3 that goes up, give or take maybe about a pretty decent amount every single week that I do call it. So there is some validity to obviously what I am talking on. I'm not just a crazy crystal ball kind of individual. But again, moving on from that, there is Mullen Automotive. So over the last year, down 93%. So it's been just slaughtered. Year to date is down 68%, and based on Friday, something big started to come, and this is up 22%. The reason why Mullen is on here is not, it's the short interest and so forth is pretty significant, but I do personally follow Mullen, and I know something big is going to be coming because of, obviously because of the stuff I know. So as you can see, 69 is the short score, utilization is at 100%, and as of what shorts did on Friday, they increased 5.66 million shares, 341.91 million shares overall being shorted, and that works out to be about 9.5%. Cost to borrow average is 10%, and the max is is 86%, give or take. So behind the scenes, it's not the most attractive for the fundamentals for short interest. It is just the fact that, for instance, on Friday, shorts increased 6 million shares, give or take, but yet it went up 22%, and after hours as well. And there's some things that did develop over the weekend that is giving justification that this can go up very, very fast. So like I said, I think this company is a little bit more on a different scale than, for instance, this one, because this physically does have some operational updates. So if I was to give a price prediction, for instance, for Mullen, looking on the chart, equally as bad as a lot of the other growth stocks, but it did transition to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band on Friday. So in reality, the amount of shares being shorted currently is around, as I can show you right here, about 350, just for argument and rounding up purposes. So if there was to be a squeeze, especially if you do couple that with a lot of the good operational updates, then I realistically can see it surpassing this, around 45 cents at the very bare minimum. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys are hopefully doing your due diligence on all of these stocks, especially, for instance, with this company and a lot of other companies as well. The fact that I don't really know much about them. I didn't really touch on the operations and various things. So you guys make sure you guys do your own due diligence. In some cases, I'm only looking at the fundamentals. But finally, the third one is Evgo. So up roughly about 2.31% on Friday, and year to date up 51%. And I believe I said year to date. So over the last year, sorry, down 39 or 38%. So definitely that one is one to watch for, because this is very much linked to EVs, and especially there's a lot of tech companies that people perceive usually hand in hand. Whatever happens to tech usually does trickle down to growth stocks in the EV sector. So definitely this one could be one to watch for. But like I said, no operational updates that I'm aware of that is coming out. But let's give you guys a quick overview of this. So currently there is 53% of the loan of the free float on loan, and around 33% of the actual float is being potentially shorted as well. So definitely something to watch for. Cost to borrow on this play though is significantly higher than the other one. So cost to borrow average is 105.21%. So that is definitely very, very high and very costly for shorts as well. And looking right here, so 23.23 million shares overall being shorted, and that works out to be, like I mentioned, 32.86. And on Friday they increased 25,000 shares. So behind the scenes, this one definitely does have a very good likelihood of a squeeze, especially because of this actual data right here. So when it comes down to the technicals, what are the technicals saying? So as you can see right here, this one is even different from the other two, because this one still is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, but on Friday it did successfully stay above both the 50 and 100-day moving averages. So this in among itself going into next week, based on the technicals at least, are looking like it wants to break out, and it does have all the justification to have that. So theoretically, if there was some good economic data that does come out, earnings are good and so forth, then I can realistically see maybe around $7 to $7.50. I don't anticipate it to be that high, because it looks like there's about 1 million or 1.3 million for an average volume, and currently right here with 23 million shares being shorted and no real fundamental actual squeeze or operational updates, then I can't really see this going too high. But still, I think fundamentally this is probably the best technicals of the three. But like I said, let me know you guys' thoughts on all these three companies. Like I mentioned, I am starting to give you guys some price predictions and so forth, but in reality, when it comes down to squeezes, there's a lot of different variables, and it is very difficult to some aspect as well, because even though a lot of these companies do have a lot of good likelihood of a squeeze, it still comes down to the fact that you are relying on, for instance, another company's earnings to really dictate the market and you going up, and shorts closing out the positions let alone. So definitely a lot of what ifs, but I do feel that there is some justification, especially with this week in particular, because this is a very, very big week. But once again, I could be very much wrong. Let me know you guys' thoughts on all that in the comments below. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, there is a good promo just for April only, and that is with MULN MULN. Link in the description below and also the comments. Just sign up for a free account. You get one free stock, Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so a complete no-brainer. And plus, MULN does offer $0 commission, free level 2 trading as well, so kind of a little bit more of an incentive there. And as you can see, deposit $100, you get 4 additional free stocks. So like I said, complete no-brainer. Take advantage of free while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on any company.